Today's topic is healing yourself and your anxieties through tarot. You know, many times in our life, these small worries bog us down so much, our mind doesn't work. You know, there's a devil looming large over our heads and we are just thinking of the negative. Like suppose our child has not come home, so we'll only think he accident to nahi ho gaya. You know, we are always thinking the negatives, and many times I hear people, oh, we've got blood pressure because of stress, there's so much stress in my life, all bad thoughts keep coming. So, you know, if you do tarot, you get a guidance, you know, that everything is not negative in life. You know, you get a lot of positive energies from the cards, from your reader, and you learn to see even the good things in a situation, not just the bad things. And tarot, remember, doesn't do any predictions, you know. It shows you various probabilities. If tarot could do prediction, I would be sitting on top of the share market earning, minting money. It doesn't do any predictions. It gives you various probabilities as to what you can do in such a situation. So it doesn't predict, it gives you probabilities. Now there are 78 tarot cards in a pack. Out of that, 22 are major arcana cards which go deep down into a subject. It is not superficial. It makes you realize your inner self, your inner wants. Then there are 40 minor arcana cards which do your day-to-day reading, like your superficial readings. And there are 16 court cards. So all these comprise into 78 tarot cards. And to read the card, first you have to hold the pile in your hand, say your prayers, pray for the querent, pray for yourself, shuffle the cards, and then you open them, and believe me, it's always that the right card approaches according to your question. Now what I am going to do is talk to you about the relation between the querent and the reader. Suppose you have come to me for tarot. It has to be a 1:1. You cannot come with your wife or your ex or your Y. It has to be 1:1. And you have to open out in front of me. Like when you go to a doctor, you have to tell the doctor all your ailments. You cannot say, oh, now let me see what the doctor... You have to say, it's not like you're going to read your Janam Kundli and you, oh, let me see how much that Jyotishi knows. You have to be open. Only then will you get your open and proper correct answers. Secondly, the positive energies of the reader, the aura is formed. And if you have come with a positive frame, you will definitely get positive answers, all the correct answers which you're seeking out from me. And there are reverse cards. For example, the card is not straight, it's upside down. So that means there are some blocked energies in your field which are not able to make you do the job which you want to be, you want it to be completed, that is getting blocked due to some kind of reversed energies. So now guys, I'm going to start off with 10 important, and you know, they play a major role in the tarot cards. These 10 cards, I'm going to talk about them first. The first card is the Fool. As you can see, the Fool is neither a male or a female, and it is in a wanderlust position. The Fool is absolutely uninhibited, raw, innocent. He flows with the tide. He embraces the unknown. He is ready to take a risk. He believes in himself. He believes in God, that nothing is going to go wrong. He just flows with the tide. And there is a lot of cosmic energy. And the white dog there shows purity. And it's like we should be like the dog following the Fool. It will never let you down. You will always emerge victorious in your journey, whatever you're seeking. You will get an inner voice. You should hear that inner voice and flow with the unknown. I'll tell you a small story as an example. Once a dashing young man, highly qualified, he came to me by word of mouth for tarot, and he said that I've been offered a promotion. But the only hitch is that I have to leave the country and go abroad, leave everything behind, like here my apple cart is all set and I'll have to establish. It's a big gamble which I'm taking, but the pays and the perks there are very, very inviting and tempting. So what should I do? I'm in a dilemma. So while I was shuffling the cards, instantly the Fool card popped out. I said, I don't need to do your spreads because the answer is right in front of me. just embrace the unknown and go ahead. I'm sure everything is going to fall in place. Take this gamble now. Right now you're single. If nothing works out, you can pack your bags and come back. So he just instantly, this hit him, it struck him. He went abroad, and believe you me, right now he's the head honcho of his company, and he's got a beautiful Indian girl there, and he's got a lovely daughter whom he keeps regularly posting her pictures and all to me, and every time he's thanking me for it. Now this is the magician. The magician is the opposite of the fool. Like, whereas the fool is like flowing with the tide, and magician is all planned. He's very powerful. He's confident. He's a go-getter. He will by hook or by crook achieve whatever he wants. And he's very, very impactful. And he's a superb PR. Whatever he touches, he will achieve. He's that kind of a person. And he has very high energy levels. He doesn't get tired. He is a go-getter. He will get his work done anyhow. I'll tell you another example in form of a story. This is again a true example. It was my neighbor's son who was starting a new business. He was a young boy, and his father, with great, Marwadi men, Marwadi fathers are a little conservative in parting with their money to their sons to start new business. So he was saying, Auntie, now this is all a chance which I'm getting. So, and I have to hire top grade employees, and their pays are very high. So I'm a little skeptical about this person, whether I should hire him or no, because his resume is very good. His every background, his references have turned out good. But I don't know what should I do. So I shuffled my cards and I got the magician. So I told him that, see, he is not the one who's going to quietly take your orders. He is a go-getter. In order to achieve a promotion, he will do anything. He will, like, by hook or by crook, he will get things done, sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly. Your company will not go into any kind of a ghata, but he will see to his promotion also. So would you like that kind of a person? He said, no, Auntie, I want somebody who's docile and obedient, who will follow me, because I'm going to be working in a very conservative manner. So I would not like somebody so bold and so dynamic, who may, dabao me also at a certain time, because I'm also a novice and there's lots of money and a single chance in my hand at stake. So I said, then I don't think this is the man for you. But he sent this person to a friend of his who needed such a person, and now all three of them are happy. So this is the magician. Now comes the high priestess. This is a female card. That is Shakti. She is like Shakti, the inner knowledge. She has got wisdom, she has got power, she is very spiritual, patient, analyzes the situation and takes action. But this is not a card for fertility. It's not a good card to have children. If somebody is asking that, will I get pregnant? And if high priestess opens up, the chances are very low. So this is not a fertile card, but she is a very mysterious, full of inner knowledge, inner wisdom, quietly observing the situation, analyzing, and then giving her verdict. So now an example story is, I do phone tarot also at times. So there was somebody through again by word of mouth, one lady calls me up one afternoon, and I heard a very apprehensive voice talking to me on the phone. So I encouraged her and I said, come on, tell me what is the problem. Whatever you say is between me and you. So she told me, see, my question is very weird. Actually, I'm feeling very embarrassed to ask about it. I assured her that don't worry, you ask me what you want. So she told me that, see, my daughter is very beautiful, and I've got a proposal from a very rich house. I'm a middle class lady. I've got a proposal from a very rich house. Now, I don't know whether I should go in for this marriage, because there are 5 daughter-in-laws and the others are from a better off family than what we are. So will the mother-in-law be partial to the others and unfair to my daughter? Because I'm very happy that this proposal has come. I would like my daughter to go in a big house, but I don't know whether this will work out for her in the long run. So I said, okay, let me see what I can do. I shuffled up my cards and I got the high priestess as the end result of past, present, future. There are spreads which I will not be talking about because of shortage of time. So I got the high priestess as the end result. So I told her, auntie, the high priestess is her mother-in-law who's going to be very fair to her. She's not the kind of a lady who will be partial to any daughter-in-law. She will analyze the situation and act accordingly. So you don't worry, your daughter is going in safe hands in a good house, because she was the matriarch of the family. So usi ka chalta. So she was worried whether my daughter would be subdued because of her poor family background. You know, all those things in our Indian society matter a lot. So auntie was quite relieved, and she was, of course, 90% tempted to go in for that proposal, and she went ahead, and all is well with her so far. Now this is the Empress. As you can see, she's a female, and all around her, what can you see? All greenery and prosperity and, you know, growth. And there's a lovely atmosphere, like everything is very wealthy, rich. So she represents fertility. Can you see all fertility around her? And she is Earth, Mother Goddess Lakshmi. She's very sensuous. This is a very good card for fertility, for having children. And she's warm, she's highly emotional, and she's very supportive. As a mother, if somebody was to know whether the mother will be supportive in this thing and in this venture or whatever, and this card comes out, it is sure that the mother is going to be supportive. And she's very passionate. And this is a card of inheritance, winning lotteries, material happiness. There's a lot of material happiness in this card. Like we say in Hindi, paw bara pachis. If anybody gets this card, there are chances that he may just suddenly win a lottery, or some sudden inheritance unexpectedly may come.
These are the cards, but can you explain, like if I come and if I say, okay,
I'll
fine.
tell that.
Yeah. So we need to know before we...
Yeah, I just want to tell you all the main 10 cards, and then you ask me what. Okay, now this is a real funny story again, which is true. There was I have a servant who has been working for 10 years with me. And he's always never given me a cause of complaint ever, very properly working, and you know, isharon mein baat samajhna, what I want, everything. But you know, suddenly he was acting very weird and funny, you know, not answering me properly, not doing his, like he was very distracted and unapproachable kind of a person he became. Suddenly, you know, there was a change in his behavior towards his working pattern. So I just asked him one day that what is the matter? Why are you doing this? So he said, like, हमारे घर में बहुत problem आ गया है, and I don't know what to do. I said, what is the problem? Come on, talk to me. Maybe you'll feel better now. Stop behaving this way and tell me. So he said, we are 4 brothers, and I'm the youngest, and my older brothers' children are grown up, and they are doing kheti. And since I'm working in Bombay, I have got no say in what is happening there. And now they are suddenly demanding a partition, and I'm getting a small patch of jameen which we've never done kheti in. It's a banja jameen. Now what am I going to do with that? And my pay here is not sufficient, because now I've got married, I'm getting children. How am I going to manage? Hamara to dimag kharab ho gaya. You know, he was really worked up. I said, just to humor him, I said, chalo, I'll do your tarot. So they don't believe in all this. So, but out of respect, he just sat with me and he said, okay. I opened out a card for him, and this Empress came. So I told him, I can promise you, you will not be unhappy. And see, you have no choice. You have to take this jameen, because you're not going to do court kacheri with your brothers and lose more money. And all the people out there, the panchayat and all, are in their side, because they are living there for so many years. Nobody really knows you. So he said, yeah, I have no choice, and he just went off. And now, today that jameen is glowing sona for him. It turned out to be such a nice patch of land that now he wants to stay 6 months in the village just to do kheti. So now I am at a loss because of this advice I've given him. This is the Emperor. As you can see, he is like sitting like an authoritative fatherly figure. He's a male, sitting like an egoist, authoritative fatherly figure. He's very conventional. He believes in intellect over emotion. He's not very emotional.